Thank you and welcome to this week's show. The Big Ten battles continue for the Big Red. They had to go to Penn State to play the Nittany Lions and then back home to take on the Northwestern Wildcats, and you're doing it shorthanded. Is another guy you lost for the season.
Yeah, I had a tough blow early in that Penn State game when Emmanuel went down, and those injuries where there's no contact are scary, and turned out to be true. He's actually had surgery already. Juwan and Emmanuel had surgery actually on back-to-back days. Juwan to get his shoulder fixed and Emmanuel his knee. And I'm just sick for, Juwan's got 2 more years and excited to get him back on the floor next season. But Emmanuel, for everything that he did for our program and really helped us get the culture flipped and all the little selfless things that he did every night, taking the best offensive player on the other team and taking pride in that role. And to see him go down and end his college career, it's devastating. So, we're going to do everything we can. It's going to be a long recovery for Emmanuel, but he's got a long career ahead of him just because of the type of kid that he is, and people recognize that. So get him healthy, get him ready, and then hopefully get him the right people around to get him a long and successful professional career.
We'll check out the Penn State game, which does, in fact, include the injury to Emmanuel. That's coming up next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Nebraska traveled to Pennsylvania to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions on a Saturday game. And this one's slow start for the Huskers. They hit a couple shots early on.
Yeah, 4-point play in the first possession didn't help, and they got it going. Then Lundy hits a step back here, and they were off and running. It was a 7-point game right out of the chute, first 2 possessions, and got up to 10-0. We called a timeout and really responded. We came out, got the ball to Derek in some space, and he really went to work on their freshman big and got us right back in the game. You see here just a devastating situation for Emmanuel, and tough on all fronts because of what everybody thinks of the type of kid and leader that he's been for this team. Pickett, one of the best guards in our league, that's a shot with Wilhelm, did a good job contesting the mid-range that we're willing to give up. Good job by CJ coming off. Need to continue to find him more of those opportunities, but I really did like CJ's aggressiveness. But this was the story in the first half. They got hot from the 3-point line. Great job by Derek, good cut by Sam, and we were hanging in there even though they were hitting shots. I think we held them to 33% overall. Of their 10 field goals, 7 of them, unfortunately, were from the 3-point line. But we were right there. Great cut by CJ here, started him for Emmanuel in the second half. Great hands by Griesel right there in the window, and really did a good job here with CJ tying the game. So with all the adversity that we had faced in this game, we were still right there, and then miscommunication right there on our rover and could not quite get out to him. And then this kid just took over the game. They isolated him at the elbow, and we really had trouble matching up with him.
Penn State 11 threes in the game. K-State gave you some lift in the second half offensively, but they shoot 68% in the second half. It's hard to overcome that.
Impossible. We go out and we shoot 54. We had a really good offensive half in the second, but when they got it going like they did and got confident and shoot 68%, that's impossible. Blow by to the middle. That's you can't allow that to happen. And then we get in rotation, and again, this kid really got it going, and Derek's got to wall up there and go through and hopefully take a charge. And again, this kid just made shot after shot, and it all started with that first possession where he got that 4-point play.
Yeah, that was Funk, ended up with 23 in the game. Huskers fought hard, but come up short on the road, 76-65. You also struggled at the free throw line in this game, just 13 of 24.
Well, you see, it's an 11-point game, and we miss 11 free throws, and 2 of those were 1-and-1s. And it's just hard to make up for that when you missed a couple layups in that game, and you missed that amount of free throws. That's a completely different ball game if we knock our free throws down.
So the Huskers come up short on the road, back home, and in front of some students who are back on campus. The Northwestern Wildcats with the midweek game. We'll look at the highlights of that game next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Nebraska back at home and get the students back on campus to take on Northwestern. And what a start by Casey. He just took over off. I think he scored your first 12 points.
Yeah, he did. He had the first 12, and you see he scored a variety of ways right here. Good little up and under over Nicholson, who's over 7 feet tall. And those were a lot of his baskets early. We're on great finishes right there. And, the story of this was turnovers. I think that was a basket off the turnover. Casey one little step on the line right there in a step back, but we got to go in early. When you can get layups early, that's a big confidence boost for you. Right there, he's got to square that up. When we compete in the slot, you got to keep that away on a blow by, and then right there Denham's got to meet him above the charge circle. So just, a couple defensive mistakes led to easy baskets. Another great take right there by Casey. And then we had some really good defensive possessions. We settled down, got back in the game. Actually, our reserves, when we put them in, helped us with a big run to give us a lead. But right here, another good play by Griesel. Great kick out to Casey, little pump fake, and hits the three. That's where he had that confidence. Once he gets that confidence, Casey is a really good player. Just, Barry was the story in the first half. He had 21 on us. You got to close out, make him put it on the deck. And then right here, second chance opportunities. We've got to come up with that. That's 4-on-1. You can't allow that to happen. And, right here, again, great play by Denham, sprinting back and taking away the easy layup. Okay, right here again, Bowie hitting the three, and we'd had that. We were a 3-point lead, and then we put our starters back in the game, and you'd hope they extend, the lead that our reserves got us, but it went the other way on us, unfortunately.
Yeah, 10-0 run to end the first half for Northwestern. Jamarcus Lawrence getting a lot more minutes now with the injuries. He's playing pretty good basketball for you.
I looked at all of our freshmen in that game. You look at Jamarcus, hit 4 threes, great job by Sam right there on the jump stop. We called it our pull behind, and Jamarcus hitting the shot. But 4 threes, didn't phase him. Great kick out right there on the penetration, but he missed the free throws in the last game against Penn State. It really bothered him. He didn't let that affect his next performance, so I was really proud of him. Sam gave us great minutes. He actually was a plus 11 for us, which was the best on our team this game, but he gave us really good minutes, I thought, and then Denham as well. He continues to improve, hit a 3. You saw the dunk that he had as well. This is when we made a nice run. We cut that thing to 12, forced him to miss, could have got that in the single digits, and we gave up, unfortunately, the offensive rebound.
Yeah, Sam ended up with 6.6 rebounds for you off the bench. Really good effort. Northwestern did hit a season-high 11 threes, and you had 16 turnovers. It's gonna be hard to win in this league with that many turnovers.
Very hard, and then the second chance points. That's where they hurt us. And turnovers led to points for them, and then second chance, and none bigger than that one by Adige against our zone. We went to a zone, which got them out of their rhythm a little bit, but we gave up that big offensive rebound, and that kind of pushed it out of where we could not get back into the game.
78-63, the final, the Wildcats with the victory. When we come back, a feature about Sam Griesel, who's befriended a young fellow that's fighting some problems health-wise. We'll have that next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Sam Griesel, the Husker senior from Lincoln, has befriended a young man by the name of Blake, who's been battling some health issues. Jessica Cootie tells us more.
He's a good guard, point guard, and good defense as a guard, and he actually is a very good passer and can do very good shots. Good player, and also has the biggest heart you can find.
Blake Hill loves to watch Sam Griesel out on the court, and for many of the same reasons that Nebraska fans have been captivated by the play of the Huskers 6'7" point guard this season. And to this Sammy Hoops fan, number 5 is much more than a basketball player.
I'm also into a superhero the first day I met him. One of my good things that I do in hard times, I really will draw people into superheroes.
Did he become a superhero to you?
Mm-hmm.
Blake was born with intestinal malrotation, causing several chronic issues in his gastrointestinal system, bringing lifelong battles, including never being able to eat real food. It's led to 17 surgeries and more on the way, countless procedures and stays in the hospital. One of those stays just so happened to bring a special visitor just a couple days after Blake's 9th birthday.
My pediatrician actually reached out to a local organization called Landon's Light. Sam, he had been volunteering for it, and he's happened to have a day off, and he came and visited me in the hospital a few days after my birthday.
Immediately as I walked in, this kid who's hooked up to all these IVs, and he had the biggest smile on his face for the hour and a half, 2 hours that I was there. And to think like everything that he was going through, and just the fact that he made me into a superhero in my time there, he just was this little ball of joy, and it was just really contagious. And I just wanted to be around him more and help out him and his family any way that I could.
Sam quickly realized that this would not just be a one-time visit, and they bonded over Blake's desire to learn about basketball.
The next few times that I met with him, he always had either different questions to ask me, or I would give him little tidbits on what he can do to get into basketball, who to watch, how to play it.
So finally I found a sport I really liked, and I actually got to go to Sam's practice in November.
What did you think the first time you saw him play?
I was actually amazed. My very first game I watched him, I went hoarse for the next few days.
It's a little bit of a mixture between kind of a best friendship and an older brother, little brother type of relationship. It just puts a smile on my face every time I get to see him or think about him, and whether it's on FaceTime or in person, obviously, it's just a really special connection that we have.
When Sam decided to transfer, one of his first thoughts was not being close to his friend. But as fate would have it, Blake would need to begin treatment at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha.
I just wanted to make sure that they knew that I wanted to continue this relationship and build it, and obviously with Omaha having a really good children's hospital and things kind of falling into place that way, I think everything happens for a reason, and our connection probably had something to do with that, in my opinion.
I was a little bit bummed because I couldn't go to his games that often, but actually gave me a good vantage point so I could still watch him play in person and do it around my medical trips. It just gives me something to look forward to at the end of the day.
And surrounding his trips to UNMC, Blake has been able to meet all of Sam's new team. He's picked up another new friend in Fred Hoiberg, talked hoops trivia with assistant coach Nate Linzer, and attended games inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. But it was a visit from Sam to Omaha last summer around Blake's 10th birthday. Struggling a little in between surgeries, it was a visit that proved to be monumental for them both.
One of his jobs was to just walk up and down the hallway, and he had to do 2 more each day. And I remember they would write it on the board, and so the day I got there, I told him about this 1% better every day type of deal. We'd go outside to walk, and he probably quadrupled the amount of times that he had walked, in the days prior to that. And he pulls me aside and he whispers in my ear, "Sam, I think you have part of Jesus in your heart." And it's just like, I was like stunned. Like, I don't even know how you're supposed to respond to that, but it was, the nicest thing that anyone's ever said to me.
Well, he gave me strength to keep going through, and like he says, you can only be 1% better every day.
The opportunities to get to spend time with the Huskers' 6'7" point guard and watch him play has helped Blake through the mounting surgeries and everyday battles.
Let's go, Sam!
This 10-year-old ball of joy has helped Sam through adversity he's faced both on and off the court. In each other, gaining a lifelong friend. And as it turns out, Sam Griesel found a superhero of his own in Blake Hill.
I write Blake's name, and I don't even know if he knows this. I write him on my shoes. Anytime that I'm in a heated moment, or there's a lot of pressure in a situation and during the game, I'm able to just look down at my shoes and just kind of recenter myself and remember the perspective in this whole thing and why I do it. When you have that type of perspective, things you do on the court, it's all a privilege. And anytime that I think that I'm going through something tough, kind of remember the relationship that I have with him and everything that he goes through, and the surgeries that he's gone through and all this stuff. And it's just, again, it comes back to the first time I walked in, he just lit up the whole room. The fact that I can look at him right now and he has the biggest smile on his face, given his day-to-day struggles, he's someone that I look up to, even though he's 10 years old.
Basically, in rough times, he gave me strength. In bad times for him, I did the same thing for him. And in the end, he actually became a really good friend of mine.
It's a beautiful thing that our relationship is what it is, and obviously it's going to continue on and continue to grow. And that kid is a really special kid and has changed my life for the better, for sure.
Right side, left-handed dribble down the left lane line, takes contact, throws it up, put back up and in by Sam Hoiberg! Tominaga, who is red hot. He's got 15 points. Here's a drive by Denham Dawson all over the rim and the jam with the right hand. Tomahawk. Final score, Northwestern 78, Nebraska 63.
Hope you enjoyed our Hy-Vee sounds of the game. Huskers will be back on the road again this week at Illinois. This is a good basketball team that played great here when you played them at PBA.
Yeah, and on the back end of a 2-game road stretch, which is very difficult in this league to go to Maryland and then finish off that stretch at Illinois. But they're playing really good basketball right now. It's going to be a heck of a test for us.
All right, we'll be back to check out action from that game next week here on the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. My thanks to the entire Husker Vision crew and to you for watching. We'll see you again here next week.